This is listed on Amazon as the EMDMAK Survival Kit Outdoor Emergency Gear Kit, labeled as being used for camping and hiking. So we're going to check things out, see if they're actually useful in a camping and hiking emergency scenario, like it claims that it's used for. And we'll see how much work there is in this kit, and whether or not everyone should get it, you know what I mean? Number one, we'll start with the lights, okay? These are the lights it gives you. This flashlight here, I didn't put batteries in it. I already have one of these flashlights. It's kind of rough the first time. Shoot, give me like 5 seconds here. So this flashlight does have a zoom in, zoom out feature just by pushing that up. You can do it one-handed. It's a little hard, but you can. You see? I didn't put battery in it because I already know how it works. And to be honest, it's not the best flashlight, but I still use the other one till this day. This I would consider, for the $15 I paid for this kit, this would be worth it. Not like worth the $15, but I think it is, on the flashlight department, that has it handled. This is just a little keychain thing, which isn't like something you would need inside of a like, it's not something you would want long term, but I mean, it is useful. But I think this is more of a filler they did, just trying to fill extra space. So leaving this out for something a little better would have been nice. So that's the lighting situation here. Okay. Let's go into the tools, the immediate tools. Tool-wise, okay, we have this, and this. This saw, these saws are always worth it. I have a couple of them. They work good. Is it worth the full $15? No, maybe a couple dollars, but they're useful. You know, they'll work. I have a couple of them. I use them. So, yeah, that was okay. The knife. A little hard, but you can do it with one hand, as you can see. Needs to be cleaned. Oh, shoot. This part is a little bit hard to finish off one-handed. See? Okay, so it feels pretty sturdy, like it's not just going to break in my hand. However, it is a little bit wobbly. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is a little bit wobbly. Let's do a test real quick. All right, so if I just hold a paper here, let's do this right here, right now. I don't know if I can get it to where you guys can see it, but I'm definitely going to try. Okay, it's not the sharpest blade. However, I would like to point out, I have seen like people get these and they do come out a lot sharper. I guess I just hit bad luck. In your hand, it's not the most comfortable knife. No matter which hand you use, it's really not comfortable. It's not made for comfort at all. It does have a pocket clip and a carabiner. The carabiner here, if you push it down, is actually what pushes the knife into the thing. I would say this is usable for small, not heavy duty work, which in an emergency situation it's better than nothing. I think that would work, right? I would think maybe like a better knife would be obviously better. So now we'll talk about the multi-tool. I always love multi-tools. They have a lot of stuff. This container, I like it and all because it's better than nothing. However, it's cheaply made. I honestly don't think it would hold up too long, and it's just cheap. So that's kind of what I'm expecting from these. They're really small. I mean, they're about as long as my pinky. They come with pliers, as you can see. The pliers aren't actually that bad. I mean, obviously they're not as like, if you get a nice pair from like a white elephant or something, they're not as good as normal pliers. They feel a little fragile, but they're not like horrible. Next tool, you look here, we have a screwdriver there. Let's see what this bad boy is. What is that? An extremely dull knife with a non-sharp tip. A flathead. Is that a file? A flathead and a saw. Obviously you can see on the edge there, there's a file. Oh, a bottle opener, or a can opener, depending on how you use it. Okay, so basically, when it comes to a survival scenario, there are 3 things you need, in my opinion. You need some sort of knife supplement. A saw is always useful, and I forgot what they're called, but they have the little hole in them, and they're very useful for repairing tools, clothing, all those different things. It has the saw, it has the knife blade. Some of these other tools are useful for an urban survival. I wouldn't say camping or hiking. This is more for urban. It doesn't have the one tool that I think every survival kit should have on multi-tools. No, not worth it for me. I mean, maybe you might have another opinion. It does feel a lot better quality than, say, the knife and a lot of this other stuff. But it doesn't have the essential, like, I don't know. This is a water bottle holder. I use one of these. They're not, it's kind of hard to run with these. You will eventually have it fall off. I think this is more of a filler item. It's not really a need. So we're just going to put that with those filler items, right? So now we're down to all this stuff. Okay. First of all, whistle, cheaply made. I don't think there's anything inside of it. I looked a little bit ago, but it does open up. Here's about how loud it goes. Sorry about this ahead of time. Really loud whistle. Extremely loud whistle. To get attention? Yeah, that would get attention. We'll put that as useful. In a hiking or camping scenario, that would be useful. I mean, in an urban scenario, you may not want to be spotted or heard. If it's like there's people who can harm you, so no. But for what it claims to be, I think it would work. Okay? And it's just, you know, if you see people and you can't catch up to them in time, you know you can get a hold of them. This carabiner, I'm just going to get it out of the way. It's horrible. You spin this, it gets up. and it locks. Spin it down. Horrible quality, really wobbly. It seems like some really cheap metal mixed with like freaking plastic. I think it's honestly plastic. That sounds like plastic to me. It's really not good. Trash right off the bat. Okay. This. Locations. When you are in a survival scenario, a map would be useless without knowing the direction you are facing. Okay. By the looks of it, one of them does seem to be off a little bit. So the concern here is the fact that I have both of them. They're both pretty close. But as you can see, they're both facing separate directions. So one of them is off, I would say. Can't tell you right now which one is off. But I'll tell you one of them's off. The other one is correct because north, if I remember correctly, is straight. So that would be... This one seems to be the one that's working. This one is a little off. Actually, no, okay. Okay, it just took a little wobble. Once it... Okay, yep, it's working. Okay, so it's not going to work 100% of the time. It's better than nothing, though. As you can see, so I do have these, and I am going to start selling my paracord bracelets. So look forward to that on my Instagram. So I do sell these clips. Mine are a little bit heavier duty that I'm going to be selling. This just seems cheaply made, and it does wobble a little bit. Let's see how the whistle sounds, I guess. About the same as mine. Now, if I open this, see, I have the option from what I'm selling to have this removable and have it stuck in there. Let's see, is this one removable? No, they don't give you the option. It's there. So if you don't know, these are a ferro rod, a very small fire starter. And obviously you could possibly use this as soft or something small, like if you were stuck, tied up by something, and for some reason they oddly forgot about the bracelet with the ferro. Let's see, does it do sparks? No. Okay. Cheap ferro rod. I just scratched the hell out of it. It didn't have any sparks. I'm sure I could probably get it to spark up if I had a little bit more time, but I mean, for the small quantity on there, it can't be willing to make a lot of mistakes. It just feels cheaply made. It feels like, it doesn't feel like the ones that I have, is what I'm saying. The paracord itself is useful. However, they have some really cheap paracord here. I can just feel how cheap it is. It's not like what I make my bracelets out of. You know, and I'm not trying to self-promote here. I'm just saying this just isn't good quality. So we'll put that there for now. Might change my mind. We'll do, we just did a ferro rod, so let's do the actual ferro rod. So I have one of these. That is something I didn't notice until now. Mine does not have that. That has pollen on it and something else, so it's probably been outside for a while. For someone who's allergic to pollen, that could make my situation worse, because I am. Let's see how good this works. Okay. Do I have to untie it first of all? Yes, I do. So if you do get this kit, number one, untie the ferro rod right off the bat. It's crappy string. And to be honest, it's useless. Okay. In a survival situation, that's why they give you a knife. Like, come on. Okay, so the striker is like this. It has a curved, somewhat serrated, but not dangerous. Like, that's not cutting me at all. Blade. Let's test it. So it works, yep. I would consider that useful. This is a multi-tool. So let's see what it has before we just confirm it. I don't know if you can see that. That's a little measuring thing on both ends. And then this is a wrench thing. Although I'm sure you could possibly use that for opening a bottle too. I would consider that useful. I just would say take off the rope as soon as you get it. Don't worry about doing that in a survival scenario. It just wastes your time and wastes your energy. Next is, we'll go over this medical kit. I'm gonna tell you now, I hate it. The reasoning is, number one, in the photo, they made it look like a huge bandage, which isn't necessarily a big problem that they're smaller. It's just advertising should be a little better there. And they're singular band-aids. So these are, by the looks of it, it's 5 band-aids and 5 disinfectants. No trauma kits, nothing fancy. It's literally just if you get a boo-boo. No. If you do get this kit, I would say switch out the survival kit or the medical part of it with something else. So we'll put that over there with the stuff that I would consider not worthy of this. This card here, I actually carry one of these daily with me. Mine is a black one. I carry a lot of cards with me on a daily basis for my EDCU. This is not for survival. The only thing here I could picture using is a saw. Unless you had some cans on you, you could use the can opener. Not useful. This is EDCU. I love these. I would recommend everybody gets the product. I mean it genuinely. It's easy, it's usable, it's small, and the way my wallet looks, you can put it in a side pouch, and because of the design on that, it looks just like the wallet. So you won't be noticeable. But it's for EDCU. It is not for that kind of task. So I wouldn't consider it useful in this scenario they're giving us. The poncho, we'll talk about that in a couple of seconds. This blanket. Of course, they give you the smallest size they have. I'm a pretty big dude, almost 7 feet tall. So I don't know why they don't give you an option. Also, when it comes to the blanket, I do think this is useful. You could use it to reflect heat from a fireplace, from the sun. You can use it for a load of different things, actually. in that situation, I would consider that useful. It keeps you warm. Poncho, no. 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 I mean, okay. It's just, no, it just seems cheaply made. It feels like something you wouldn't want to. For the scenario, no. It just seems like it takes too much space from the kit. Okay. And the case, it's not that big. It really isn't. It looks a lot bigger in the photos. Like, I have one of these cases that's like twice the size. This stuff's all smushed. You know, I mean, having a rain poncho in here, it actually came in a separate baggie. It just doesn't seem like it's beneficial. So the case is kind of small. It's not like a Pelican case, cheaply made. In fact, I had one of these ordered and it broke here within 5 minutes of using it. So that's always something you have to keep in mind there. Cheaply made, it's Amazon, whatever. That's useful. That's useful. That's useful. 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 That is not enough to sustain you if you don't know what you're doing. You will have to add to this kit. There's no medical stuff to the kit. Because everything that's... all that is either better for ECU, everyday carry, or it's just not useful. I would say EDCU for these two. And this. All of this is not EDCU. Well, maybe this. All that, no. So if you were to go off the lines a little bit, so obviously this would be your survival thing. Not as good as it looks. But if you were to go the EDCU route, you could bring these over here. This. And possibly this for certain situations. And then you have stuff to add to your EDCU kit. Obviously, that's not enough either way. I do think it was worth the $15. But I wouldn't recommend it for someone who wants this just for their survival kit. This is not the kit if you're just going to buy it and put it in your truck and just use it in an emergency. No, you're going to want a better kit if it's going to be just this. Add to it. Add to it. Change it up. I have some better cases. I will probably put these inside of my survival backpack. I will probably put some of this in my EDCU everyday carry. I have one of these already in my EDCU, so I'll put this in my survival backpack. It's better than nothing. It uses a battery that most people, have just laying around. It's very commonly found for Xbox. You know, if Xbox users' houses, if you're in a looting situation, you can always find these type of batteries, you know. So it's always, it just seems like it's, that's pretty much it. I would get this. I have it, I would use it. It's good for the price. Obviously it does have its downsides. It is a cheap one. But it's usable, and you can put some of this to use in a survival scenario. For the purpose they laid down, no. You'd have to add to it. For an EDCU, no, you'd have to add to it. It's about building up that supply. I have a fire making kit that is about the size of this container, I'll add these to the fire making kit. I have tinder, I have everything in there. I have flint and ferro rods. That's just another backup. I mean, it's useful. Why wouldn't I? Gives me more fire, you know. But would I make that my only thing in the fire kit? No, I added stuff to it. So that's just my recommendation. I would suggest checking it out if you are hoping to make one. But I would suggest if you're just doing one go, it's a no-go.